for this first review video, we're going to be talking about the new Alpha Theta Slab, which seems to be the talk of the town right now. Today, we're going to take a look at the product overview video and see what all the hype's about. What's good, YouTube? It's your man Reason. I'm back with another video. Well, our second video, and this time it's actually going to be a review video. If you're new to the channel, here we'd like to talk about all things music producer related, beat making. I'm a native instruments machine producer, so if that type of content interests you, I encourage you to like, subscribe, and join us. Today, for this first review video, we're going to be talking about the new Alpha Theta Slab, which seems to be the talk of the town right now. It's a controller pretty much made for Serato Studios. All right, without further ado, let's get into it, man.
Slab is the first controller designed and made to work with Serato Studio. As a natively mapped Midi controller, Slab puts everything from Serato Studio right at your fingertips, so you can stay in the zone without having to reach for your mouse. It's designed to work with Serato Sample and even Serato DJ Pro as an accessory device.
All right, yo, right off the rip, that's pretty dope. The fact that you can hook it up and use it as an accessory with your DJ equipment, I think that's pretty dope.
But for this video, I'll show you how to make a beat on Slab in Serato Studio. Let's start with the drums. Hold Shift plus Auto Set to select a genre and we'll generate a pattern from Studio's library. You can always hit Shift plus Delete to clear the deck so you can do your...
All right, yo, I'm going to keep it a buck because I have to say those drill beats were not popping.
He's right, you know.
But again, this is just something to get the juices flowing, so I get it.
Your own thing. Let's give it some feel. Set Slab to strip mode and use the touch strip to quickly dial the swing for the drums.
That's a pretty cool use of the touch strip, I think. Just having the ability to just dial in the swing right off the bat. I think that's pretty cool, especially for a lot of people. Like, I personally like to incorporate my own swing when I'm playing my drums, or I'll just, nudge it where I need it. But yeah, to have this right off the bat, again, it's just to get the juices flowing, right? So as far as creative workflow, that's pretty sweet.
Now, let's look at the hi-hats by viewing them on Slab step sequencer. Press Shift plus piano mode. I want my hi-hats to sound a bit more human and less programmed. Hold down any of the pads in the sequence and shift where they land by turning the big dial. And to adjust the velocity, again, hold down any of the pads that you want to change, and this time, we'll use the touch strip to dial in those playing dynamics. I can do the same process for anything in the kit, snares, claps, or even kicks to make adjustments to the beat. To get out of the sequence view and back to the full playing kit, press trigger mode. Now that I have my drums the way that I want, let's make the loop longer. Press scene size to extend the scene size out to the way that you want. Here, I'll extend it to 4 bars. And let's add some more variation to the loop by adding in some note repeats. I'll select the hi-hat and hold down the note repeat and dial in the repeat value with the first encoder knob, anywhere from a 4th note to a 1/32 triplet. And I'll record a variation to finish up the drums.
Yeah, I think that's also pretty dope that you can audition and do all this while you're playing without, again, he didn't reach for his mouse, just boom right into the workflow, switching between, your pattern modes and different scenes and stuff seems to be very intuitive on the unit itself, so that's pretty dope.
Now let's chop up a sample. I'll create a new scene by pressing Scene Select and tap on an empty pad to make a new scene. Let's navigate the library to load in the sample. With the sample loaded, I'll use Auto Set to automatically chop up and set cue points throughout the sample. If you want to change the Auto Set mode, you can hold Shift and press Auto Set. You can favorite the cue points you like and press Auto Set again to find more. If there are any chops that I don't want, I'll hold down Delete and press the pads.
Okay, that's dope. I actually really like this feature because it gives you the ability to just quickly detect your plosives or wherever the samples chops could be, and then you can easily either get them out of there or just have it recheck again and see what else it finds. So as you adjust the sensitivity, I think that's pretty awesome.
And if I want to scroll through my sample, I'll set deck scrub as the dial mode. This way, I can tap on any of the empty pads and assign cue points. I can choose.
I hope they have a way to adjust how fast that scrolls because he was scrolling a lot for very little real estate. So I'm a little concerned about that. But hopefully that's just a sensitivity or a timing setting that you can customize.
Whether I want to tap to trigger or hold down a pad for each chop's playback with the trigger mode button. Let's quickly dial the frequencies and volume. Press the encoder mode and then go to deck EQ to shape the track's highs, mids, lows, and levels using these 4 encoder knobs. And now with all my cue points set, I can press record and record in my chops. Now, let's make another scene and load another sample to do something different. I'll separate the sample stems. I only want the melody, so I'll mute the bass and everything else. Press the encoder mode button and select deck stems, and press down on the encoder knobs to turn off any of the unwanted stems.
Yo, okay, so that's super dope. Okay, because that's kind of one thing I've always wished Machine would have is the ability to just easily just right from the sample just start playing with the stems. Um, Hopefully that's something that comes in the future. Native Instruments, if you're listening.
Message!
And for the melody stem, I can turn the encoder knob to adjust the level of the stems to my liking. And like I did before, I'll tweak the EQs and the deck volume.
So that's super dope as well, because even me myself, even though I have to process all my audio to get my stems first, I typically like to mix down different levels of the stems. Like if there's a lot of vocal components, turn that down, turn up the bass a little bit to give it a little more room. But yeah, man, that's super dope right off the rip.
Now I want to add bass to my track, so I'll make a new scene and I'll add another sample in. This sample's got a pretty good bass line already, so let's load it up into a new deck and place a couple of chops. And for this sample, I don't want the melody, so again, I'll mute the track stems except for the bass. Now, let's make some minor adjustments. This cue point here is playing a little bit too fast for my bass line, so I'll time stretch the BPM on this pad to make it slower. By pressing Shift and encoder mode, I can adjust the tempo for the pad parameter. The bass sounds good, but it needs a bit more volume, so I'll raise the bass stem's volume and add in some hard compression as well.
Okay, that's also a dope feature where you can just adjust the tempo on the fly like that. On the stem at that, that's pretty sweet.
A shortcut for adding in one of Studio's built-in effects, switch to deck effect mode using the encoder mode button. Holding down Shift and turning the encoder knob lets you load in the effect for that knob. All right, now that the bass is done, let's make another scene and play out some ARP notes. Let's add a synth to another instrument deck. All the pads are available in key because playing key is active. This track fit nicely in the mix, I can make some small adjustments to EQ, volume, and also use the touch strip to apply a filter. And lastly, I'll add some effects to the synth. All right, so now I've got all the main tracks for the beat, but I want some of the scenes to stand out.
One thing I am noticing about this unit is that it's very similar to the Native Instruments machine as far as how the touch strip works, as far as Even how some of the parameters and the settings are, and even some of the buttons look very machine like in the way that they're presented. So that's pretty cool.
So on Slab, I'll use the pad effects. Slab has 4 unique effects types, which you can only access with Slab connected. You have the wah filter, the lo-fi crush, the inverse reverb, and the pitch loop. These effects types are grouped into columns, with the effects amount.
All right, so you all know what they're trying to do there, right? Trying to make sure they give everybody the best of both worlds. You giving you a little SP404 functionality with your, your effector.
It's increasing from 25% to 100%, from the bottom to the top. You can use these effects for live beat sets or record them in as automation. And if I make a mistake, I can always hit undo to start over. Now that the beat is finished, I can play around with the overall BPM and key to hear what it sounds like. To do this, press the encoder mode, select deck parameters, and turn the encoder knobs to make the adjustments. Slower or faster, or pitched higher or lower. And that's it.
And there you have it, folks. The new Slab. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I think it's a pretty dope controller. From what I'm hearing, it's priced very well. It's in the low tier as far as Costco for controllers. $300-400, something like that. So definitely, this is not a sponsored video, so I ain't trying to promote it. I think it's a dope little controller, man. Honestly, for the minimalist, for the person who's on the go, portability is also very important. Obviously, it doesn't have any touch screens or any color screens or anything like that on it, but I think for what it does and for its ability to keep your hand off the mouse and keep everything within the unit, I think that was pretty impressive in terms of that being their first entry into the game. One thing I would have liked to see them do is to bring an actual their original sample in, chop it up, and then see after you've chopped it up, do you still have all that flexibility as far as stems and all that kind of stuff, or do you have to do a lot of the manual processes most of us will do today in terms of bouncing out your audio and then doing your stem processing and then separating and doing all that and then resampling and that kind of stuff or reslicing or whatever. So it'd be dope to see if it has that functionality. Definitely tap in with me. And yeah, we're going to keep banging it out, making this music and building this community up. You know what I'm saying? So until next time, peace.